All right. Thank you all for tuning in, and welcome to this week's presentation. I hope everyone's having a decent week in the market so far. For those of you that are regular Shark viewers, welcome back. For new viewers, we really hope you get something out of this and continue to tune in. We are aware that everyone has a lot going on, so just know that we really appreciate you guys spending the next 45 minutes or so with us. Can you go ahead and type a Y in the chat if my audio is coming through all right? Awesome. Thank you, Heinz. Thank you, Tony. For those of you who are first-timers, my name's Ty. I'm one of the guys here at Shark Indicators. I've been here with the company for a couple of years now, and it's just been an awesome experience so far. We've been involved with the NinjaTrader ecosystem for 5 years now, and we develop some of the most capable tools in the industry. Now, we aren't ever here to sell you some holy grail. You've got to put in the work to hit your mark. That goes for anything you do. Now, that being said, let's take a look at the risk disclosure here. Take a minute and look this over. So what we do for events like this is we bring in NinjaTrader vendors and educators to bring you a lot of variety and exposure to different trading methods and personalities in conjunction with our tools. So each one of these presenters is successful in their own right, and each offers a unique trading style. So let's dive into today's topic, which is focusing on trading with correlation using HeatMap Pro with Steph from Touchstone Day Trading. So some of you are definitely familiar with Steph and the work she's done in the past with Shark. For those of you who are not, she has nearly a decade of experience trading on the NinjaTrader platform, as well as coaching and training new traders. What makes her a great presenter for this event in particular is her experience in collaborating and developing several NinjaTrader tools, including HeatMap Pro. So at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and pass the screen and the mic over to Steph, and she is going to take it from here.
Hey everyone, let me just get my screen set up. If you can hear me loud and clear, please also type a Y in the chat box.
Yep, you're coming through loud and clear, Steph.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, and you should be able to see my screen now. Great, well, thank you all for having me. I'm very excited about today's demonstration. I know a lot of you in here recognize a lot of names, and I'm happy to be here. So again, Shark Indicators and Touchstone presenting HeatMap Pro webinar, Trading with Correlation. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat box or question box. I will try to answer as many as I can at the end. We do have a full house here today. My name is Stephanie, as Tyler said, and I am an active trader with Touchstone Day Trading. I was part of the development of HeatMap Pro, and I absolutely love it. It is a great gadget. It has simplified my trading screens, and I use it in my everyday futures trading. So I wanted to start with just a few quick questions to try to get to know you again. What you mostly trade, futures, stocks, or Forex? Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So we do have a lot of futures traders. All right, now take that one step further for me if you don't mind. I'm going to make you do a little work here. Tell me which futures you trade mostly. Is it the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Russell? Okay, so trading with correlation. We're going to pass through this disclaimer since Ty already handled that. Can anyone tell me what is correlation? I know I'm making you work after a long day in the market, sorry. Anyone have an idea of the definition or what you think correlation is? An agreement relative to two items. Good, you're going in the right direction. Now specifically, it's a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things. A lot of you had that pretty close in that direction. Very good. In trading, in my trading especially, I have found that the S&P, the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the Russell are very highly correlated. And when they are running in the same direction, you tend to find a good sign of a great trend. In the world of finance, it's a statistical measure of how two or more markets move in relation to each other. Now, how many of you like to try like to trade in choppy markets? Does anybody have a good trading plan for a choppy market? There are some good methods out there, but you must have an idea that the markets are going to be that way. If you could only know, am I going to have a sideways market today, or is it going to be a good trend, right? Yeah, Rob, he loves sideways. Exactly. Because that's what I've always said. If I could know the market's going to be sideways, I've got a plan for sideways trading. If I could know the market's going to take off on a tear and never look back, I've got a plan for that too. The key is, how do we know which way the market's going to go today? So when the markets that are normally correlated are not moving together in sync, you will normally experience a lot more chop. So when there is a nice trend, wouldn't it be nice to know that you've got a strong trend on your hands and you'd like to catch that trend on your trade signal, no matter what it may be, and ride the trend to the end? Back to correlation. When the correlated markets are moving in sync, we tend to see those stronger trends and more follow through. So another quick question. On Monday, September 11th, how many of you tried to call the top in the morning, especially if you're a typical morning futures day trader? Anyone try to call the top and get run over? Because the markets did end up closing at the highs with very little pullback. I hope everyone learns their lesson on that. There is a time to call the top, but Monday wasn't one of them, that's for sure. Okay, so what I'd like to do is show you a tool, HeatMap Pro, for those of you that haven't seen it. It is a tool designed to show you when the markets that you trade, especially if you trade correlated markets, are in sync. Free up your screen space and chart space. If, for example, you only trade the S&P, the ES, there's no reason for you to need to watch the Dow, the Russell, and the NASDAQ. Using HeatMap Pro would allow you to see at a glance what these other markets are doing and if we have a correlated trend on our hands. So would you like to simplify your trading screens? When Zach and Jeremy came to me about developing a tool that would help simplify traders' daily routine, this is what I said we absolutely needed, and HeatMap Pro was born. My charts used to look like this, and after I turned 40, my eyesight started going, so I needed even bigger screens and more monitors. Bigger charts, more monitors. And it was very complicated, and this is really a simplified, dumbed down version of what it was, but just for the sake of presentation. In order for me to trade the S&P, the ES, I always needed to keep an eye on the other three markets that were highly correlated. And sometimes things would get away from me on where the markets were in relationship to where they opened and where they are currently. Using HeatMap Pro, and I'm going to bring that over now, eliminates the need to use all of those charts and just simplify it down to one chart. So what I'd like to do, I downloaded some replay data so you can see HeatMap Pro in action. I've got the market moving fairly slow on Monday, September 11th, but I'm going to speed it up. So this is the market at about, show you the market replay, 8:01 on September 11th. Now I've got two iterations of HeatMap Pro. One is the previous close. So this is, I'll pull this one aside for now. This is exactly what, this is HeatMap Pro, the four correlated markets that I just talked about, and you can put whatever markets you trade into this. As long as they're correlated, this would be relevant. You can certainly track any instrument in the HeatMap Pro that you like, but if you're looking to find correlation and watch for the color coding scheme, then you want to make sure that they are markets that do normally trend together. Now I know that some people put an iteration of HeatMap Pro with the bonds. Here's an example of the markets were correlated in a very strong, as you can see, the color coding gets, the stronger the direction, the stronger they're correlated, the further away that they get away from their starting point, the stronger green it is, and vice versa for red if it's a short day. So we've got 4 correlated markets, and each quadrant will tell you a little bit about the instrument, but really what I'm using it for is just a quick glance to see that I've got everything going up very positively. So I'm going to speed this up for you, and I'm also going to bring over the second iteration. The reason for the previous close is you've got a lot of gap traders. You've got a lot of traders that trade during the European session. You've got a lot of traders that really only care about the close. Then there are traders that only care about the current U.S. session open. So you can add a second iteration to your chart, and this is going to only start working at the time that you have specified. Now I don't go with the traditional U.S. open 9:30. I do an 8:30 open, especially when there's heavy news events going on. So let's go ahead and speed this up. So you should see this start populating pretty soon as we are approaching the 8:30 mark. Now, everybody's trading signals, that's totally up to you. HeatMap is not about a trading signal. It's not an entry, nor is it even an exit. What it is going to do is a really good shortcut tool for you to add if you use NinjaTrader to your screen to give you a quick glance at what the markets are doing and if the normal correlated markets are in fact correlated. Example, on this day when we had a runaway trend pretty much from early in the morning, the markets were heavily correlated to the upside, very green, for the most, almost 100% of the day with very little pullback. Consequently, we had an uptrend that you hope that you didn't try to call the top. So this is a Bloodhound template that I have in the background. For those of you that don't use Bloodhound, Bloodhound is a beautiful tool to bring your trading signals together. However you may trade manually, you can plug in your indicators and your rules and method of trading into Bloodhound, and it will tell you when to get long and when to get short based on your rules. My Bloodhound template here is actually only looking at a long bias currently because right out of the gate I had an upward trend with all markets telling me we have a highly correlated day just based on yesterday's close, the previous day's close. Now the open is still mixed or neutral, if you will, because you can see it's gray. It's not really red or green. It's really just getting started. So it hasn't made a decision on if the correlation is going to go up or down. And I know we have some questions coming in. I will get back to them when I'm done with this demonstration. Okay, so now we've got some green. I went a little too fast. I'm going to pause it for a second. So we had some correlation coming in, and it happened during this signal area here. It went a little too fast for me, and I'm going to assume it was right about there at the open of the U.S. market. Now, could I have taken the earlier signal just based on the previous close heat map? Absolutely. Depending on your risk tolerance and whether or not you like to trade before the market opens, before the U.S. market opens, it's totally up to you. Play this again. But if you were able to catch this signal based on both of these heat maps being correlated to the green side, depending on your money management technique and your entry and exit techniques, you could have stayed in this trend for a nice run up. Notice how the market, the HeatMap Pro, stayed very green and very correlated. Never changed from the four out of four are in a super positive way. And these settings can be adjusted to your user preference. I'm going to quickly show you that now while this is playing out. The settings that HeatMap Pro allows you to do, you can change that to 75% if you only want 3 out of 4 markets to be correlated. The change in percent is also up to you. I have mine set at a 0.125. And again, if you decide to get HeatMap Pro, and there's going to be some great promotions going on at the end of the webinar, part of what we can do is I'm offering a session with you to help you get it set up, so we can talk about what you trade and how to set these settings accordingly to your trade plan. Okay, I'm going to fast forward this a little bit. We're about at 10 to 10 in the morning. If I remember correctly, there was a bit of a pullback right there where the Russell went a little bit lower, and I think HeatMap Pro, if you just saw it, switched to mix for a split second. In my trading plan, all that would make me do is possibly tighten up my trailing stop if I had runners in this trade. I'm at 100 times speed here. We're at about 10:20 in the morning. And again, lots of green, lots of correlated. This is the kind of HeatMap Pro that tells me do not try to sell the top. Do not try to call the top. This would be a little bit more aggressive of a signal because Russell is not with us. So in my case, if I wasn't automating this trade, I would probably wait. And I don't know if any of you are familiar with the backtest Renko bars. They're an awesome bar. They really clean up the charts, take a lot of the noise out, and that's what I'm using here today for this demonstration. If I got long here, took a little bit of heat, but it definitely paid off. Again, 4 out of 4 is still correlated. There's nothing on this chart or in these two heat maps that are telling us to beware of the market falling or going down. At this point, we all know, because we can look back, we've hit the high of the day. We've also hit, the lunch hour. So I only trade in the morning. This would have been the exit for me somewhere right before the lunch hour, or at least the trailing stop would have followed it until the reversal bar. We all know that that's really where it ends there, and S&P just kind of bases at the top for the rest of the day. So that is an example of how HeatMap Pro can help you stay on the right side of the trend. With those two HeatMap Pros, as green as they were and as strong as they were correlated with those markets, it is the best sign for me, because I am a counter trend trader at times, but that is when I would not try to sell the high or buy the low in that case. This is the template that I use. I have a couple different Bloodhound templates. This particular template has my proprietary settings for trade entry, and the beautiful thing of it is my Bloodhound template, I have both long signals and short signals. But in this case, I only want to see the long signals when HeatMap Pro is as green and as correlated as it was on Monday the 11th. What I'd like to show you now is a sideways market. Bear with me 1 second. I want to go back into this presentation to give you my contact information and the special for today. So email me if you have any questions, but please remember that we are only going to offer this special to the first 20 people. It's only $295, and for the first 20 people, I'm going to do a one-on-one training session with you over GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar, and help you get it set up on your charts and help you configure it to fit your trading needs. Okay? There is a little bit more to the special, and I'll show you that in just a second. After you make your purchase, I will send you an email with a link to schedule your appointment with me, and it will be in the afternoon because I trade in the morning. And the beautiful thing of that is we will be able to do it while the markets are live. Okay, any questions here? So you've already purchased HeatMap Pro. Stephen, you can use any bar chart you like with HeatMap Pro. It doesn't matter. Tom, on the 3 little bars that are in the heat map, they are the immediate 1-minute trend. I have mine set to 5, so you can put whatever number you want in there. So it's the last 5 1-minute bars. You're welcome. But we've got 3 bundles we're offering today. Heat map by itself, it's $295, and you're going to get a one-on-one session with me to set it up on your charts, and 1 week in my trade room when we open the first week in October. Then I have a Bloodhound bundle, which is Bloodhound, the backtest Renko bars that I demonstrated earlier. If you're not interested in heat map or you already have it, that's also going to come with a one-on-one session and 1 week in the trade room. That's a $375 savings. And then we have the bigger bundle, heat map and Bloodhound. That will come with the backtest Renko bars as well. That's going to be at no charge. That's going to be a 2-hour training because I'm going to spend an hour with you on heat map and how to implement that into your trading session, and an hour with you on Bloodhound and how to build or at least get your system started in Bloodhound. And that will also come with 1 week. So that one is a $475 savings. So I think that's it. We'll wrap this up. I hope you all enjoyed the presentation. Sorry for the technical difficulties. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer as many as I can as quick as I can. Just send me an email. Thank you. Okay, Ty, I'm going to hand it back over to you.
All right, Steph. Thanks again for presenting. It's great to have you back in the circuit. And everyone, take it easy. Have a good day.